Hello, everybody. This is Georgiana and Meredith from Creativity for Kids, and today we are going to make some paper snowflakes. So, Miss Meredith, take it away.
Thank you, Georgiana, and thank you, Nicole. I'm very happy to be here sharing our snowflake kit. So I love this kit because it is so amazing how you're going to take paper bags of all things and create these amazing, gigantic, pretty snowflakes. So let's go ahead and open up our kit and see what's inside. So this kit is a Michaels exclusive. So if you're looking to purchase this kit, you can find it at Michaels. There we go. Put that aside. All right, so we have our handy dandy instructions. We have our glue stick, awesome rhinestones. These are some to and from tags if you want to gift your snowflakes. Our string, our silver string. And these are very important. These are our paper bags. Let's see if I can open that up. Here we go. So you get all of these paper bags. And this is what we'll be using to create our giant snowflakes. We have some other paper here. And you'll see this paper is printed with dotted lines on the back, but awesome glittery foil on the front. All right, so we'll set all of this aside and see how we can get started. So getting started, you will need scissors to complete this activity, which we have right here. Younger children may need assistance, just depending on how well you can use your scissors. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to find all the bags with the same number at the bottom. So you can separate all your bags into 3 piles. Your bag will have either a number 1, a number 2, or a number 3. And they're numbered right at the bottom right here. So you can see number 2. So number 2. All right. So that's my number 2s. Here's my number 3s. All right, so so far I have 9 number 2s, 9 number 3s. And 9 number 1s. Now you can see that they're printed. So the printing on them will dictate what the design looks like when you're done with your snowflake. So number 1, when it's complete, will look like this snowflake. Number 2 will look like this one. And I actually don't have a sample of number 3, so let's go ahead and make that one. So we'll put number 1 and 2 aside. So what we're gonna do is just follow the lines and cut where it's printed, like this. And we're gonna do the same thing for all 9 bags. You have sharp enough scissors, you might be able to cut 2 at a time, and we'll try that in 1 second. Okay, let's try and cut 2 at a time. So we'll line up the bottoms. Make sure the sides stay nice and tight together. Oh yeah, that works. So this way you can cut twice as many in the same amount of time. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 4 more to do. So I'm just gonna take 2 and cut them together, just like what we just did. And our final two. And if you do not have this kit at home, you can try with your own paper bags and drawing your own design on them. And all you have to do is cut it out just like what we're doing. And you'll need a glue stick to glue all of the paper bags together, which we'll be doing shortly. And then you can see what your snowflake looks like. All right. So we cut out all of the number 3s. And they all match up just like that. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our glue stick and we're going to glue right down the center and on the bottom of each one of our paper bags. We're going to stick it to the next one, just like this. And this is important. We want to glue the side that has the flap. So with the flap side facing up, along the bottom and right up the center. And then we're going to put, with the flap facing up, just line it right up on top of what you just added glue to. Just like that, and line it up so all of the bottoms line up and the sides line up. And then just like what we just did, you're going to do the same thing. Add glue to the bottom and right up the center. And make sure the flap is up and place it right on top. And push down so it stays stuck. And again. All right, I have 3 more. 1, 2, and before I actually put the last one on, I'm going to skip over to the next step, which is cutting a little bit of your silver string and attaching it so you can hang your snowflake. So it says to cut the silver cord into 6-inch pieces. I believe our instructions are about that. So I'm going to just cut a piece like that. And then just tie it in a loop. So how I tie string into a loop is just by joining the ends together, holding them together, and then just looping it around my finger and pushing the tail through the loop. So then it just goes like that. Just like that. So now we have a loop. And I'm going to glue this one. I'm going to glue the loop right down the center of my last paper bag. So right in here. Just put that right like that. Now a little more glue. Oops. And once the glue dries, it'll stay. Okay, so we are going to add glue to this last one and then open up all the parts of our paper bags. So this first one matches up to this last one. I'll put the top back on. And just kind of carefully open it all the way up. And match it together. A little easier if you kind of set it on the table like I am. All right. Now all you have to do is kind of put your fingers inside, like where my thumb is here. Kind of move your hand down and up where the glue is to make sure that it's gluing both sides together. And you can even put both hands in and kind of squeeze them together just like that. And our glue dries pretty quickly. So even if you hold it for like 60 seconds, it should stay pretty well. All right, so there we go. This is what our number 3 paper bag snowflake looks like. So we have our number 1 that's kind of spiky looking. Number 2 with the fun circles. And our number 3 that has kind of like triangular diamonds. Super easy and super fun. And here's our little string that you can hang it on. Now you're given some rhinestones, so you can kind of bedazzle your snowflakes if you want. So let's add a couple. And like I said, if you don't have this kit at home, that's okay. I would love to see the snowflake that you might create with your own design on your own paper bags. So if you want to share, just take a picture or have an older friend or adult take a picture. And you can share it up on our social media accounts. Hashtag Creativity for Kids. So I'm creating a bit of a pattern with our rhinestones. So we're using silver, purple, pink, blue, silver, purple, pink, blue. And I'm just going to keep going all the way around. So this outer layer of my snowflake really shines and catches the light. So right now I have a set of these hanging up in our windows at work. And it's really fun to have some gigantic snowflakes hanging up for the holiday season. And you're given enough rhinestones for all three, depending on how you want to apply the rhinestones to your snowflakes. I think I kind of want to put one in the center too, so I'll have to figure out how to do that as well. All right, almost. One more. Purple. All right, so all of the outside has rhinestones. And one in the center, I'm going to use one of the larger ones. I was using the smaller ones. I'll use one of the larger ones for the center. There we go. All done. I love it. So as I mentioned, you're also given these cute little tags. So if you want to attach one of these tags, you can write to and from. And it says, like a snowflake, you are one of a kind. Super sweet. So you would attach this, you could attach this with your silver cord. Where did that go? Here it is. So you could cut off another piece of silver cord and attach it to your snowflake. Or before you tie this in a loop, you could have placed that on there and then tied it into a loop. Either way, whichever way you want, both work. All right, so you're also given these really shiny holographic papers too. So let's see how we can use those. Put that out of the way. Kind of shove those out of the way. All right, so this is another style of snowflake. It's kind of like a simple origami project where you're doing an accordion fold and then tying our paper together, and I'll show you how to do that. So what we're going to do is fold this piece of paper in half lengthwise and then unfold it. So on the back side, there's a dotted line right down the center. So we're going to use that as our guide and just line up the corners of the paper. Just press down and out. So down in the center and out. So, ta-da! We've created a nice, lovely fold. Next, you're just going to use the fold lines to fold your paper up and back, like an accordion. So I'll show you what that looks like. So the first one, I'm going to fold up like that. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to flip it over and fold it back. Like that. So I just lined up this to this fold here. Like that. So from the side, it kind of looks like a little zigzag. And we're gonna just keep doing that. So I'm gonna flip it again and fold up, matching up the sides. Like that. And then flip it and fold back again. And we're gonna do this for the full sheet of paper. So flip, it's flip and fold, flip and fold. And we call this an accordion fold. And if you don't fold exactly on the fold line, that's okay. It's kind of hard to do. But these fold lines are there just to guide you. So it will work either way. Like that. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, keep going. We're almost there. Okay. And we're completely there. There we go. Now we're gonna fold all of these folds in half. So I'm gonna pinch it together like this and just fold it like that. Really tight, right in the center. This is what it looks like from the side. So it was like this without all of our accordion folds. And then all I did was fold all of it in half and pinch really hard in the center. And I'm actually going to fold it the other way now too. And pinch really hard in the center. All right, then I'm going to get some more string. About 6 inches again. And this time, instead of creating a loop, I'm just going to put the string right in the center of the paper, just like that. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll hold it up so you can see. So I'm putting the string right in the center, right here. Now I'm going to add glue to this side and pinch that together, because we're kind of doing what we did with the paper bags, but with just one piece of paper. So I'll add glue. Here and here. And I'm going to put a little in the center too, where our string is. There. And then I'm going to bring these together and pinch them so they stay stuck. Like this. Pinch, pinch, pinch. And over here. Pinch, pinch, pinch. So it stays stuck. And like I said, this glue dries pretty quickly. So if you want to count to like 20 or 30 seconds, it should be good after that. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add glue to this side and pull these together to create a snowflake circle like that. So I do that. So you kind of have to hold it up off of the table. Like this is how I'm holding it to apply the glue. And like this. There we go. All right, and then just bring those sides together. Like this. And pinch, pinch, pinch. Pinch, pinch. Pinch, pinch together so the glue stays. And I'm going to hold it for 20 seconds. So this is actually like an easy origami shape that you can make with an accordion fold. And some people call it a flower, but this, how it's printed, is perfect for a mini snowflake. A sparkly one at that. All right. And I do want to tie my string together now. Oops. So I'll just do a simple little knot. And actually, I could have done a little bit more string in order to hang it a little bit easier. Yeah, so for this string, I think you should do more than 6 inches. Maybe like 8 inches. But there we go. All right. So, can we do a front facing for a second? Ta-da! This is our little snowflake. And here's our big snowflake that we created together. And this is our kit. Ta-da! So do we have any questions out there from our viewers, Georgiana?
I think you answered all of them.
Oh,
A lot
good.
of people want to try it on their own with their own material.
Very good. And like I said, if you do that, I would love to see what you create. So go ahead and have someone take a picture and share it up on our social media account, #CreativityForKids. So thank you all for joining us. Happy holidays. And I hope you enjoy making as many very fun paper snowflakes as you want. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.